Hey, it's Mike over at fishyourassoff.com, and today what we're talking about is catching pompano on the different parts of the tide. So there's a big difference on where the pompano are during low tide versus high tide, and the tackle you need to get at them during those different tides. So that's really what I'm covering here today. Let me just show you what I'm talking about. All right, pompano fishing, high tide versus low tide. And here's a basic beach scenario right here. All right. Here's the beach. You're standing here. There's that trough. You know, the wave always makes that little trough, the wave action right next to the beach with that little dip. And then, you know, flat, declining, you know, getting deeper out to the first sandbar. Okay. So that's a typical beach. Sandbar. I call that the impact zone because, you know, I surf, so that'd be the impact zone, and then your trough, and then the beach, okay? All right. So during the lower parts of the tide, those pompano and whiting and permit, whatever you're trying to catch off the beach, it's going to be closer to this sandbar, either right at this side of the sandbar or on the other side of the sandbar. So you're going to need some serious tackle to get to get out that far. I mean, that could be 50, 60, 70 yards. I don't know. Pretty far. And during the higher parts of the tide, though, all of the fish could move in and be super close to you. So they might actually be in the trough or right next to the trough, right next to you. You know, I have caught all kinds of things, big fish. I've hooked tarpon, you know, that were 4 or 5 feet from the beach. I had 5 foot tarpon. So all of these fish come in close if there's something for them to eat. So the pompano are the same way. So the pompano might be right at your feet. So if it's high tide and you got your 13-foot surf cast, you're trying to get out there to the sandbar, you might be casting past all the fish. They might literally be at your feet and you're casting 50, 60 yards out. So you got to keep that kind of stuff in mind. So your low tide tackle, you need at least a 10-foot surf caster, 10 foot plus, 13, 14, I don't know how big they get, but let's say they get to 15 feet. You need the longer your rod, the more distance you can get as far as getting at those low tide pompano and whiting or whatever, because they're way far out. So just keep that in mind. Now I have a 10-foot surf rod, but I don't ever use it to catch whiting and pompano. I cast big plugs for, you know, spinner sharks and blacktip sharks and tarpon when they're on the beach. So I use it for that. When I'm fishing for whiting and pompano, I don't do it unless it's high tide. I use just one of my normal rod and reels, and quite often it's an underhanded cast because I'm not usually casting more than 20 feet from the shore, fishing at high tide for pompano and whiting. So let's just cover this though. Okay, low tide, 10 plus foot surf rod, 20-pound braid. Only reason you need that heavier braid is in case there is a permit out there, something fun to catch like that too. Because remember, they're around eating sand fleas and crabs and all the same things that these pompano and whiting are eating. So you really don't need that high of a pound test, but I have it just in case something big comes through that you want to catch. Your high tide tackle, I have a 6 or 7 foot medium heavy action rod, like a 4000 series reel, and you know I'm using 20-pound braid again just in case there's a permit or something around. But like I was saying before, it's literally an underhanded pitch that I'm fishing, because literally I'm fishing within 20-30 feet of where I am. And that, even if I'm using a banana jig or some sort of feather, you know, you barely got to get it out there during the high tides. You know, and just bounce it off the bottom is all you're doing anyways with that. But I really wanted to cover that because I think a lot of people make that mistake when they're pompano fishing. I see some of these guys on the beach and it's high tide and they're just like, roar! A weight like as big as a baseball, trying to get that thing out there, and you know, here I am. I could probably catch them with a cane pole, bloop, because they're literally right here at your feet during the high tide. So Just make sure you're not one of those people making that same mistake. High tide fish close, low tide, that's when you need to get that thing way out there. But I think that's it for my video for today. So until next time, we'll see you then. All right, bye-bye.